Hey everyone, Mike here, and I'm doing an update. So, right before I took off, um, I did a video about me going back to California to go visit my mom and some friends and other family members and stuff like that. I thought I was going to do some videos while I was out there, but my mom has very limited internet service, and so I thought, you know what, I'm not going to uh, do her data caps or whatever else. So yeah, she lives out in the middle of the boonies and just barely got high speed internet, and she was paying for uh, AOL dial up. Like, I didn't even know that shit still existed, but you know, that's way beyond the scope of what this video is about. So, um, anyways, just a little recap about my whole vacation and what's been happening since I've gotten home. I've been home now for about a week and a half, and it's just been so nice to actually be home. Like, you know, it was nice to go out and see my mom and hang out with her and everything, but for the most part, I am so happy to be home. I mean, there's really nothing like actually getting home and being able to just decompress and get back into your old routines and stuff like that. And it was a little unfair to her, and this is me saying this, not her saying it, but I think it was a little unfair to her because I was out there for 3 weeks, and so I know me being out there disrupted her, whatever it is that she does when I'm not around. And she has 2 cats, and the one cat, like, kind of got used to me being around. I was only able to really pet her 2 or 3 times, and that was really about it. Like, otherwise she was like spazzing out and running into the other rooms and whatever else. The other cat wanted absolutely nothing to do with me, so I was like, okay, cool, whatever. Being a pet parent myself, I understand when your animal is under duress, how it can kind of make you feel under duress also. And so I was just like, you know, I'm sorry, Mom, I'm really sorry. I don't mean for your cat to, like, freak out and stuff like that. And she even had to take her to the vet because she had stopped eating and stuff because she was that, like, just freaked out having somebody else in the house. And, you know, I can understand it. Ever since my mom first got her and her brother, it's only been my mom and the 2 cats. So having somebody completely new, and, you know, let's face it, I'm not a small little person, so whenever I get up and move, even if I'm moving slowly, it looks like it's, you know, fuck, all the world's coming to an end. So anyways, while I was out and about in California, I got to go see friends and some other family members and stuff, and that was really cool, and I really enjoyed it. I'm going to put it out there right now, a big, huge thank you to Budget Rent-A-Car. I picked up a car, first time getting a car, first time I personally got a car on my own. I went out with a couple of dollars that I had saved here and there, and I was able to get myself a rental car. And but Budget Rental Car there at the Palm Springs International Airport Terminal, they were amazing. The first car that I got was a Ford Fiesta, and I loved that car. It had all kinds of amazing features. Now, I'm not a car person. It's like, okay, I know gas goes here, air goes in the tires, and you open up the hood and water goes in there somewhere. That's all I know about cars. So for me, talking about these things, it's like really kind of exciting for me, and for other people it'd be like, that's just standard. But anyways, the car was really nice. I think it was a 3-cylinder, whatever the hell that means. I know that it didn't really get up and move, but you know, it did pretty well. It had onboard navigation through Microsoft Sync. after, I'm a Google person. I will accept Google as my Lord, Savior, and like overseer if they ever decide to take over the universe. I'm just like, Google. Microsoft Sync freaking sucks ass so bad. I paired my phone up with the car and just trying to do basic simple shit that I could go, okay Google, blah 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 blah, with Microsoft was damn near impossible. It took me probably 15 minutes to make a phone call. And I have a Bluetooth headset, but I thought, you know what? Instead of using my Bluetooth headset, I'm just going to connect it to the car. Then that way I have surround sound call capabilities. Yeah, no, I quickly unsynced it, unlinked it, freaking told my phone if this ever tries to, you know, connect to you again, send a death beam or something to it. But so yeah, there was all of that. And so I had grown up out in the Palm Springs area, and that used to be my stomping ground. Like, on the weekends, when I was living in Palm Desert, I'd be all over the freaking valley, like nobody's business. I ended up getting lost a couple of times because it had changed that much, and it's a booming metropolis now. Back in the 80s and 90s and stuff like that, and even in the early 2000s, it was developing, but it's like a huge city now. And so some of the landmarks that I was looking for weren't there anymore. And then places where there used to just literally be nothing but orange fields. Yeah, I felt so old saying that to a couple of people. But yeah, places that used to just be fields and orange fields and stuff like that were new housing complexes and developments and Indian gaming casinos all over the place. And I was just like, okay, where the hell was all this when I was living here? That's the first time I said that sentence. The next time I had that was when I was in Beaumont, California. And I lived there from 1990 to 1997. So even though it was only 6 or 7 years, it was an entire lifetime. Like, there's so much shit that happened during that time period, stuff that I'm actually in therapy for right now, just trying to figure stuff out. But yeah, so there was all that happened during that time period, and Beaumont itself has expanded. Now, when I was still living in California and back in 07 and 08, before I moved up here to Washington, we had a few new housing complexes going in, and there was a new school and so on and so forth. But when I came back up, or when I went out there in 2010, they had built like a Walmart shopping center, and before then the only Walmart was like 30 miles away from that location. And then now when I come back in 2016, 6 years later, it was like, holy shit, you know, this place exploded. There's Kohl's out there, there's like all these huge shopping complexes, new housing places, and all this other stuff. And when I lived there, the only thing that they had was a Kmart and an Albertsons and a Food for Less. That was it. And so, if you don't know what a Food for Less is, it's a discount food place, similar to like Winco or Winn-Dixie, I would assume. I'm not sure. I don't know. Anyways, but so yeah, a couple of oh my god moments, and then I made my way out. So while I had the car, I made my way out to the Salton Sea, where I was actually born and raised, and from 81 to 90, and then I would go back on the weekends after my parents divorced, and then I moved back in with my dad in 1997, and then ended up graduating from out there. So my high school's there too, and plus all the people that I grew up with and stuff like that, that's where they were all from and everything. And not too many of my original friends are still living in the Salton Sea area. Some are living up in Palm Springs and that area, and then others have just completely moved out of state altogether. So I went down to the Salton Sea. Oh my god, it broke my freaking heart. It was disgusting there. I mean, there was never anything down there really when I lived there, but it was just like so horrendous looking at how much it just has dilapidated and gone south. I drove by the house that I grew up in, and I knew that it had burnt down, and I had been there before, but now it's just basically an empty lot with remnants of what could have been a house. Like, there's no standing structures or walls or anything anymore. And that kind of gave me a little bit of a boohoo moment, because when I was in college, my dad and my stepmom, who is actually more of a mother than what my biological mom is, so I'll just say my mom. My mom and dad moved up to Yucca Valley from there, and so I had always had like this little I don't know what you would really call it. It was like a delusional fantasy, basically a pipe dream, where I would one day just move back into the house and squat in it and make it mine, because we had lived there for over 27 years rent free, and by California law they still have homesteading, and so we homesteaded the place. But the original owner showed up and tried to start charging my dad rent and all this other stuff, and he had been wanting to move out of there for years and years, and he finally had the ability to do so that's why they moved up to Yucca Valley. So anyways, I was just driving through, went by my grandma's place, freaking had a boohoo moment there, because my grandmother's house was such a point of pride and joy for her and my grandfather both, and it was just destroyed. Like, my grandfather was an invalid for 27 plus years. He had a stroke, which caused him to be wheelchair bound, but he could also get up and walk with the assistance of the cane crutches, so he could walk around on that. But he put in the entire yard from his wheelchair. He put in sprinkler system and then put sod down on top of it. When they bought the place, they put in beautiful oleanders, and oleander is like a desert plant that's highly toxic, but is a beautiful foliage, and it thickens up and is very it doesn't need a lot of water. So but anyways, beautiful foliage. And there's a picture of me with my grandfather when I was about 2, maybe 3. I was still in diapers, so actually according to the family, I potty trained myself at 18 months, so sometime prior to 18 months, I guess. But anyways, there's a picture of me and my grandfather, and I'm helping him push a lawnmower, and they had planted this ficus tree, and you could see in the picture that it's just this little scrawny shrub that doesn't look like it's going to amount to anything. Well, fast forward years and years and years later, and it was this big, beautiful shade tree that took up most of the front yard and was just, gorgeous. That thing was dead. The oleanders were dead. There was no grass. It was bare. It was just right down to the dirt. They didn't even bother taking down the oleander sticks. I mean, the bushes were just there, and it was sticks lining the whole perimeter of the property. The ficus tree was completely gone and dead. It was still just there. When I was about 16 or 17, I put in a limestone driveway, or not limestone, a sandstone driveway for my grandmother. We actually went out into the desert, harvested like huge 300 pound slabs of sandstone, and I put in a sandstone driveway for her. That was completely gone. Everything was just decimated. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm done. I can't be here anymore. So then I drove down to the water, and the Salton Sea is so horrible now. They started diverting the water runoff from the fields and stuff like that used to feed into the sea back into Los Angeles, because they're in a fucking drought, and as long as we have water to drink and whatever else, fuck the sea or whatever. So it's starting to dry up, and there's parts where I used to walk or used to swim that was like way above my head, 20-30 feet deep, that is now just sand. And like it was disgusting. From the air, we had the little spits of land called the fingers, and it looks like two hands just plopped right down. Well, on each of the fingers, people used to live there. And a few years ago, back in, I want to say 96, 97, somewhere in that time period, a company called IID, or Imperial Irrigation District, came through and bought up 90% of the land around the sea. And so when they did that, the town just started going downhill from there. But anyways, in parts of the fingers, in between each one of them was waterways for boats and other aquatic stuff. And there was parts of those that were completely dried up to the point where like whatever water was left in there was stagnant. And it was this gorgeous pinkish red color, kind of like the color that my shirt's coming up right now. And that was from the red algae blooms that naturally occur in that water anyways, but because it's stagnant now and isn't able to feed back out into the sea because, well, parts of it are dried up, it's just this crimson pink color. I know crimson and pink are two separate colors, but you kind of get the idea. But yeah, I was just in such horror driving through all the different little towns out there, and then I get outside of this town called Salton Sea Beach, and they now have a casino and a Subway and a few other things out there. I'm like, where the hell was all this when we were living out here? Go a little bit further to a town called Salton City. That's where my high school is, or was. And there was a Jack in the Box, a dollar store, an AM/PM, just like all this huge amount of commerce just showed up. And I was just like, what the hell? So anyways, kind of chuckled to myself a little bit about that, and took a lot of pictures and posted them up on my Facebook account, and shared them with my friends and family, and some of the people that I grew up with that live back east now. But yeah, so on the way back, it was 125 degrees out there. And Salton City from Palm Springs is over 90 miles. and I had to drive from Salton City back to Palm Springs in 125-degree weather with no air conditioning because the air conditioning in the rental car decided to go kaput. So, what I eventually called Budget, got them on the phone after driving almost 45 miles. I'm sweating because I'm now a Washington boy. Anything above 75 and I'm dying. And so they tell me, take it back to the Palm Springs airport, pick up a new car free of charge, whatever. Cool. Aces across the board. I get there, they try to put me into the same class of car, and I'm just like, no. All of this is not fitting into a Toyota Yaris or a Mazda Protege. Sorry. It just didn't happen. The Mazda Protege, that's where this visor hit me. My head was pushed up as far as it could get. I had to actually like crunch down to even get in there, and the roof was like pushing down on my head. The Toyota, or one of the other cars, their steering wheel was right here and it wouldn't adjust. And so anyways, after like a lot of deliberation and stuff like that, they finally upgraded me for free of charge to a Ford Focus. And I know that there's a huge like Chevy is better, Ford's better, Ford sucks, Chevy sucks thing going on. I don't know, I don't care. I'm not a car person, like I said. As long as the car has four wheels, four doors, air conditioner, or power windows, I'm good. That's all I need. So they put me into the Ford Focus. Beautiful car, luxurious. Well, not luxurious in the sense that, you know, it was an upgrade from the Ford Fiesta, but it was only an upgrade in class. The Ford Fiesta actually had more functionality and like gizmos and gadgets than what the Focus did, but that's neither here nor there. So anyways, they hooked me up with this other car. Pretty decent on gas mileage, I guess, but it had like a lot of power to it, had a lot of get up and go. Just a great car. So I was able to go into Beaumont and San Bernardino and Riverside, Moreno Valley, and all those other places. Got to see all my friends and what have you, and got to go back to Yucca Valley where my mom lives. And so, anyways, when I had to turn the car back in, I was a little sad because I was really enjoying my freedom, because here in Washington, I don't have a car. I've been without a car for over 15 years now. I sold my car back in 2005 to help my sister pay for some bills, and, well, she told me that she would hook me up with another car, and, well, that just never happened. So, yeah. 15 years later, I'm still driving my Chevrolets. Moving on from there, then my mom said, you know what, I'm going to rent you a car because I don't feel like driving you all the way back to the airport. So this time, I went to the Avis counter, which is located right next to Budget. It's like Avis and Budget and they share the same counter space, and same people work on both sides or whatever. So I thought, okay, you know, I had really good service with Budget, and their sister companies, Budget and Avis, so I'll just go ahead and take whatever car that they happen to have for me. At first, everything with them was like peachy keen, and like the guy gave me an amazing discount just for the day, because they wanted to, at first they were going to charge me like $190 or almost $200 just to take it from Palm Springs to Long Beach, and I told them absolutely not. I rented a car for an entire freaking week for $190. You're not going to charge me almost $200 for a single day. So the guy works the magic, and he gave me the car or whatever. So I was like, okay, cool, high fives all around, everything else. I get it to Long Beach, put gas into it, and drop it off. Everything's fine. I get all the way back home. The next day, that charge hits my card, and there's all these additional fees and service fees and all this other shit that I never originally agreed to. And apparently the lady at the counter added this all on after I left or something. I don't know, but I called Avis up and I chewed them out. I'm like, how fucking dare you add in additional fees that I didn't agree to? And then the guy started getting like, well, you had to have agreed on it, blah, 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 blah. I said, no, I never agreed to the insurance. I never agreed to any of this stuff that I was charged for. So after about 4 days of fighting with them, they finally released the funds to me. Thank you, PayPal, because I put it on my PayPal debit card. And I call PayPal up. I'm like, listen, this is what they did, blah, 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 blah. They're like, okay, well, you know what? Give them until the 28th. And if they haven't done anything by then call us back, and then we'll refund you your money. I'm like, awesome. So, I was going to get my money back regardless. And that's one thing I love about PayPal. I thankfully haven't ever had a problem with them, and I've always been able to get paid or have money returned to me and stuff like that. So that was totally amazing and, like, you know, woohoo. So since being home, just being able to decompress has been really kind of nice. And I started playing that Pokemon Go game, and if you haven't been able to tell from previous videos that I've done, I'm a freaking nerd. And you know what, I own up to it, but I'm not the type of nerd that can go to like a Comic-Con and actually nerd out with people and talk to them on like that geeky level. But like, so, you know, I'm not like the cast of The Big Bang Theory, you know, like Leonard or Sheldon or Cooper Polly or whatever, Wolowitz. I know a few things here and there, but, you know, that's about it. That's, But yeah, so, just, I've been really enjoying the hell out of Pokemon Go. I just hit level 13 last night, and me and a girlfriend, we've been going out and playing together and doing this, that, and the other thing, and so it's been really cool. I actually had to go out and get a power cell for my phone because my Samsung Galaxy S4 doesn't seem to like to stay charged. And so that's been a real huge issue for me, just in general. But now I have 3 or 4 power banks. One of them I went out and bought. The other 2, well, I bought 2. I bought one like a while back ago. Then I just bought another one a few days ago. And then I got 2 more sent to me for doing product reviews, and so I am set when it comes to power. And my girlfriend, she and her husband jerry-rigged a power strip in their cars so that they could go play and stuff. So yeah, between my battery packs and her wiring, should be pretty good to go. We actually do get out and walk, but we live in a rural part of Washington, so in order to get anywhere where the good Pokemon are, we have to drive a good distance, and then we get out and walk around and do everything else. Then we don't just sit around and drive through the car like, oh, here's a Pokemon there, there's a Pokemon there. I mean, we do if it's safe to do so, but for the most part, we just drive to a park and then walk around the whole park, collect all the Pokemon there, do the Pokestops, take over the gym if it's not our gym. And for those of you who are following Pokemon Go, I'm Team Valor. So yeah, I actually am having a shirt sent to me from a company that wants me to do a product testing for them, and it's a Team Valor t-shirt. So I'm like, okay, awesome. But yeah, so just a lot of really cool things happening and going on. And as a matter of fact, you keep seeing me looking out the window here. I keep thinking that she's pulling up because, well, she was supposed to be here at 11:20. So yeah, I gotta get a hold of her and find out where she is because it's 12:12 now. So anyways, and I just realized that I've been rambling on now for almost 32 minutes. So I'm going to let you all go, and I will yap at you later, but I just wanted to do a huge update video and tell you all about my trip out to California, kind of put it into a nutshell. And yeah, so anyways, questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comment section below. Like and subscribe the video, or like this video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel, please. Also check out the website hellocupcakeitsme.com. There's a shit ton of diabetes articles that have been getting posted up there lately, and it's like really good information, so go check it out. I'm also going to get on there and start posting about depression and bipolar and stuff like that, and how to treat yourself. But for right now, there's just a lot of posts on there about diabetes and managing yourself and so on and so forth. Anyways, also, if you need to get a hold of me, it's hellocupcakeitsme@gmail.com. And I look forward to talking to you and hearing from you, and I will talk to you all soon.